have a paragraph I want you guys to write. And the paragraph's going to be, why has America been so, you're answering that question, why has America been so successful? And these kind of questions here, you have 4 questions that are going to kind of get you kind of in the right frame of mind to write the paragraph. The video we had watched was Guns, Germs, and Steel, and there was a question asked in the video. It was a guy on a beach. It was in New Guinea, and he asked the professor, Jared Diamond. He asked Jared Diamond, "Why do you white men have so much cargo, and we New Guineans have so little?" And the question kind of hit the professor, and he spent a lot of years trying to figure out why. Why do some civilizations didn't kind of progress at all, and others did progress? And the main answer, what he figured out was that the cultures that were successful developed ways of growing food that could be stored, that could be a high yield. They domesticated animals. The New Guinea had the pig, but successful cultures domesticated chickens and cows and all different types of animals. And New Guinea never kind of got out of the hunter-gatherer method of surviving, and civilizations that became successful and kind of led to more success in the future were able to kind of allow people in the civilization to become kind of quote unquote professionals, or develop skills, and say being a blacksmith, or being somebody who could work with wheels, be a wheelwright. And the civilizations in New Guinea they were always just focused on survival, and they had a climate that kind of allowed them they didn't have to worry about freezing to death and things like that. So they never had to kind of go beyond what they immediate needs, or in order to survive. And so that was, so a dependable food source really, I think, a very dependable food source would be the most basic answer for number one. That it was what enabled, Western and Chinese civilizations and European and Middle Eastern civilizations to be able to thrive. Number two, we've been working on, like, why has America been successful in the last 235 years since the Constitution was ratified? What were the 3 biggest reasons? And we came up with the inventions themselves. The fact that you could patent, the Constitution protects ideas in this country, and that's kind of promoted this huge amount of people coming up with ideas to improve things and to achieve wealth by doing that. That was number one, be the technology that we've developed through inventions in this country. Number two would be the development of steel, the different uses of steel in this country. Bridges, railroads, cars, large buildings are all, steel has enabled us to develop an infrastructure that's enabled us to really grow America. And the third reason we came up was the freedom we have in this country. The Bill of Rights and our Constitution affords us many freedoms that have enabled us to pursue life, liberty, and happiness. And that it has been critical for this country's success. And so that that was number 2. 3 was the question was a little out there, kind of. Standardization has been important too for the development of this country. The Chinese began using standardization in 220, 230 BC, and that helped their civilization immensely, and it's helped ours immensely. It's not a new concept, but a lot of interchangeable parts that makes things easier to fix, and helps make life easier for us. Number 4 here, the last 40 years, the 3 most important inventions, and most obvious one would be the internet. Is completely new in the last 40 years. It was developed before that, but what didn't come into wide use until the 1990s. And it's radically changed the way we do things, and especially in the 2020, it really begun to accelerate the process of changing our culture. The internet has. And so the internet, number 2 would have been cellular devices. Smartphones have been a major technological advancement in the last in recent times, and the computer. Computers have been around a little longer than 40 years, but not much as far as for the personal computing at home, and that's radically changed. Obviously, the internet and the computer go hand in hand, but there's a major innovation here that's changed our lives in the last 40 years. And so the last question here is asking you to write a paragraph kind of talking about why has America been so successful. And I really want you to focus in your first sentence is to make that sentence kind of answer the question very simply. So an example would be, America has been so successful because of our use of steel, our innovation, and our freedom that we have in America, and period. Okay, and in the next sentence, you could talk about how steel has given us an infrastructure, bridges, buildings, cars, railroads, has enabled us to live in and transport us, making travel much more efficient. And again, you're only writing 7 sentences, so you don't have to do a whole lot. And then move on to the next major topic, innovations. So the innovations in the last 150 years have again made our lives much easier, have improved our communications, have radically improved America. Period. Last sentence, you could say something to the effect of the America, we enjoy freedom, so people tend to take it, they'll pursue things that they enjoy, that kind of they like, they enjoy, and that promotes prosperity, because people tend to do better that they're pursuing things that they enjoy. And then some type of concluding sentence. These different factors have enabled America to be successful in the last in our history. So just to kind of give you a sense of what to write for number 5 here. So hopefully that helps you kind of answer the questions here, and I'll see what you guys produce.